Whoosh! A tiny golden star sliced across the night sky, burning brighter than any shooting star Sunnybrook had ever seen. It did not fall like a rock, and it did not roar like a storm. It moved with strange purpose, beautiful enough to make people stare, and mysterious enough to make the whole world feel as if it were holding its breath. Below that sky, Sunnybrook was settling into evening. Bicycles rattled along the sidewalks, families walked sleepy dogs, birds sang their last little songs before bed, and warm porch lights flickered on one by one. In the town park, beneath his favourite oak tree, Eli sat cross-legged with his backpack open beside him. Inside were notebooks, hand-drawn maps, a compass with a scratched lid, and the small treasures from 100 tiny adventures.
One day, I am going to discover something amazing.
Eli did not say it as a joke, he meant it. More than games, more than routines, more than hearing about distant wonders in books, Eli wanted to be the one who found something new. Curiosity tugged at him like a kite string in a strong wind. Then the sky flashed.
What was that?
Heads lifted all across the park. The golden streak blazed overhead, larger now, brighter now, racing beyond the rooftops toward the hills outside town.
It is a shooting star.
But Eli could tell it was more than that. The light dipped lower. The air seemed to hum. Then, somewhere beyond Sunnybrook, a distant boom rolled over the fields, and the ground gave the tiniest shiver. Silence followed, a deep, wondering silence. Everyone stared. Eli grinned.
I have to see where it landed.
By morning, the excitement in Sunnybrook had turned into stories. Some people said the light had vanished into the clouds. Some said it fell near the river. Eli listened to none of them for long. He packed snacks, a bottle of water, a flashlight, and his favourite notebook with fresh pages waiting to be filled.
Off on another adventure?
You know me.
Be careful, Eli.
I will.
With a quick wave, Eli hurried out the door and headed for the rolling hills beyond town. The morning felt bright and friendly. Butterflies floated through wildflowers. The breeze bent the tall grass in silver-green waves. For a moment, it seemed impossible that anything magical had crashed here at all. Then Eli spotted the first clue. A patch of grass ahead was blackened at the tips. A little farther on, stones glittered with fine golden dust. Eli crouched, touched the edge of the scorched ground, and studied the trail as if he were a detective at the scene of a marvelous crime.
It came this way.
He followed bent stems, scattered sparks of gold, and a faint warmth rising from the earth itself. Step by step, clue by clue, the trail pulled him higher into the hills until the birdsong thinned and the wind seemed to whisper around him. At last, Eli reached the edge of a wide clearing and stopped. In the center of the clearing was a crater. The earth around it was cracked and faintly glowing, as if the ground still remembered the star that had touched it. Eli swallowed, tightened his grip on his notebook, and took one careful step forward. At the bottom of the crater, something golden shimmered. The shimmer sharpened into a smooth golden stone, no larger than a melon, resting in the middle of the crater as if it had been placed there by careful hands, instead of falling from the sky. Light moved inside it, not across the surface, but within it, warm and steady, like a secret sun.
That is definitely not a normal rock.
He slid down the edge of the crater, boots scraping loose dirt, and knelt a few steps away. The air around the stone felt warmer than the morning sun. Eli reached out, then paused when a thin crack snapped across the golden shell. Another crack followed, then another. Eli threw an arm over his eyes. When the brightness softened, the broken shell had opened like a flower, and at its center lay a pendant shaped like a 5-pointed star. It was small enough to fit in Eli's palm, but it carried the same living glow as the stone. The pendant seemed to wait for him.
Wow.
Very carefully, Eli picked it up. Warmth rushed from the pendant into his fingers, up his arm, and straight into his chest. He gasped and stumbled back as golden light spiraled around him in rings of dust and sparks. Leaves lifted from the crater rim. The wind turned in a sudden shining circle.
What is happening?
Then a voice, gentle and clear, spoke from everywhere at once.
Eli.
Eli spun around. The clearing was empty except for the broken shell and the dancing light.
Hello.
Eli Starheart.
The pendant blazed brighter against his hand.
You have been chosen.
Chosen for what?
A beam of gold shot upward from the pendant and pierced the clouds. Above the clearing, light unfolded into a map of stars, rivers of constellations, and glowing paths stretching through a vast midnight sky. At the center of that shining map hovered a distant realm, bright as dawn and impossible as a dream.
The Star Realm is in danger.
Eli stared up without blinking.
The Star Realm?
Ancient darkness is awakening. The stars need a guardian.
The vision trembled. The glowing paths dimmed. One by one, the constellations folded back into the beam until only the pendant remained, warm and bright in Eli's hand. The clearing fell still again, but Eli did not feel still inside. He had wanted a discovery. He had wished for wonder. Now wonder had answered him back, and it sounded a lot like responsibility.
A guardian? Me?
Before he could make sense of that question, a tiny blue-gold light zipped past his nose.
Hey!
It looped over his head, circled the crater twice, and stopped in front of him with a cheerful little buzz.
Finally, do you know how hard you are to find in a town with this many oak trees?
Eli blinked at the glowing little creature floating before him.
You can talk?
Of course I can talk. I've been looking all over for you.
For me?
For the new Star Guardian.
Luna pointed to the glowing pendant in Eli's hand. Eli looked down at the star, then back up at the tiny messenger hovering before him, and the truth of the voice, the vision, and the light finally settled around him.
So it is real.
Very real. And if the pendant chose you, then the Star Realm must need you right now.
Eli tightened his fingers around the pendant. He was still frightened, still full of questions, but beneath the fear, something steadier had begun to glow. His ordinary day was gone. In its place stood a doorway into everything he had ever dreamed of, and everything he had never imagined. In that distant darkness, a shadowed watcher lifted its head toward the faint gold shining from Sunnybrook.
The Star Guardian has been found.
The voice rumbled like thunder behind stone.
Let the hunt begin.
And with Luna at Eli's side and the pendant glowing against his palm, the first adventure of the new Star Guardian had only just begun. Next time, Eli and Luna journey toward the mystery of the forest that lost its colors.